All right. What's up? Hey, what's up, River? What's up, Mue? All right. I have a slightly earlier stream because I need to do my patron stream after this one too. So, going to do a bit, just a little bit of GPO. What is this? Oh, Shadow Gligar. Shadow Gliscor has been so underwhelming. I will talk about it in the Ultra League tier list, of course, too. But, yeah, let me do this rocket thing real quick while I'll get into it. The sunlight in your room is gorgeous. Thanks. I actually don't even have all the blinds open. I could even open more, but there's kind of it's kind of weird though, because if I keep it open too much, then I can't really see anything on my screen. So there's kind of like a balance to it. But if I stream during the day, I don't really need my stream light on, which is nice. So yeah. Hey, what's up, Lexi? Since when do you stream at this time? Hey, what's up, Dragoncorn? Not typically. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Thank you for the heart me. Yeah, maybe I should. But I want to get this out like before the Ultra League rotation starts. It'll probably bleed a little bit into the Ultra League rotation, but that's fine. Yeah, because I didn't want to do it late last night because I figured there'll be maybe less people watching, and also it was just late. I didn't want to stay up like past midnight doing a stream. So no idea what my cat is looking at though. She's just staring at me at the door. But there's no packages outside. Not that she cares about packages. I don't really get it. But maybe she wants me to open a package. There's like a package for cat food, but she has cat food too. I don't know. Anyway, I'll do like a battle too, and then maybe I'll just go. Actually, maybe I'll just go straight into the tier list. I should wake up to see you stream in the middle of the night. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Okay, we'll get into this tier list right after we finish this camera up. And then go from there. I don't really know how yeah, I don't know. I feel like this season in general, there aren't a lot of good new things. It's just a lot of old things being better, and then some old things getting worse. I actually don't think the Ultra League meta will change too much, but yeah. Can you get a shiny? I hope so. I hope you can get a shiny. I can't really control that myself. But okay, let's get into this tier list because we have stuff to talk about. All right, let me just minimize this. Go to the tier list window. All right, lots of things to discuss here as we are approaching the first Ultra League rotation. So this will be my Ultra League tier list for the memories in motion. Can you get a shiny from me? How would we do that? I propose to you a question on that. How would we do that? Do you live near me? What are you trading in response? These are all questions that I need to know the answer of before we do any sort of trade. Yeah, but how would you? Like, you have to be within 100 meters away, right? Okay, anyway, I'm not really fully entertaining that nonsense. I just think it's funny once in a while when people ask me that. Okay, let's talk about this. So, memories in motion tier list. And obviously everything that has like the circle around it is something that got directly mentioned in the blog post when it got changed. So something that got a new move, something like a Rotom, Rotom Mo like got Leaf Storm, I think, stuff like that, or Moltres got Fly, I think. Anyway, so they don't necessarily mean they're relevant, but in case people are wondering, some of the newer like things that got like directly mentioned or buffed, I'll just briefly mention its relevance in Ultra League. This is just an irrelevant category for, I should have did this for Great League too, but this is an irrelevant category in general because these four just like don't really even hit like CP eligibility for Ultra. Like you technically can use it, but it's like 500 plus CP off. Like it's just, there's no one in their right mind would really do that, right? So let's talk about the actual things that did get changed though. Gliscor, obviously the Sand 2 buff helps it a lot, and then also Acrobatics is nice. Overall though, it's at 192 for the non-shadow and 219 for the shadow. I don't think it's actually that good, honestly. There might be some niche usage for it. It's actually not even running Sand Tomb. It's actually running Night Slash recommended because I think Night Slash is probably just a little bit better in a lot of situations. Given how many ghosts, you kind of want like both ground and dark moves though. So I don't even know if Acrobatics is particularly great. I'll put it in the probably bad category. You could probably make the argument that it's even worse than that, but I'll be a little bit generous because I think you could potentially win some stuff with it. Rotom Bowl was actually just terrible, though. This thing does get eligible for Ultra League, but it's just not good. Is that hot garbage? Grass Electric is just not really the best typing either. I don't know if I'll put it in hot garbage category. It's got Thundershock. It's just bad, I feel like. Yeah, I don't think I'll put in hot garbage. But, you know, it's just not as many targets. What's up, Jack Ripper? Alright. A few other things, too. So, Articuno. Articuno actually isn't too bad. It's actually over in the top 100, actually. 71. Shadow is 105. Getting Powder Snow will allow it to get to moves a lot faster. Probably a fringe meta pick at best, though. I mean, it's got some interesting utility. I don't know. Icy Wind, Hurricane's a legacy move. It's the recommended move sets. But Icy Wind, Powder Snow is already pretty solid. You have the option for Ancient Power if you really need it, but I think that's like overdoing the anti-flyer coverage. So, I don't know if I'll particularly try it myself, because like Jellicent makes it kind of annoying to run, right? And a lot of other like the water types. Water is going to be really strong in this meta. But I think in like neutral matchups or positive matchups is fine. It's just that, you know, there's just too many bad neutral matchups. Yeah, bad neutral matchups in my opinion. But that's a crazy name. But thanks for the follow, moms. All right. Okay. Flygon. So Flygon got access to Twister. Yeah, it got access to Twister, and Twister got buffed too. Obviously, it's a very charge attack oriented Pokemon these days, with Dragon Tail being more charge attack oriented as well. It's still not that great. It's outside of the top 100. It's 221 overall. I'd probably put this in the probably bad category. It's a little hard to use. I don't know. You could use it in limited metas for sure, but you got Tearless Fever. Greedent. Greedent is actually a lot better too. Yeah, Greedent in Ultra League back in the day was quite good, and I'll definitely talk about that too. So Twister, so Twister itself, it's a lot more spammier, right? It's almost in a way kind of similar to the old Dragon Claw. I don't actually remember the exact old Dragon Claw stats, but compared to Dragon Claw itself, so here's the thing, right? So Dragon Claw itself is not even as efficient as Twister. So Dragon Claw is 1.6 damage per energy. Twister is 1.75. Twister's 40 energy for 70 damage. Dragon Claw is 50 energy for 80 damage. So Twister is just across the board better. Does slightly less damage, but you get way more bang for your buck. But I think the problem is Flygon already had the old Dragon Claw before, right? Like, old Dragon Claw Mudshot was super spammy, and it wasn't relevant then. It's not going to be that much more relevant now with a spammier, like, Dragon Tail, Twister combination. You can also run Mudshot, because Mudshot's the old Mudshot too, right? It just doesn't have as much relevance too, because it didn't have relevance before. It's likely not going to have relevance now unless there's like a huge meta shift to favor it, and that has not happened yet. All right. Moltres is really not relevant. Regular Moltres, obviously Galarian Moltres is a whole different story. Regular Moltres is just pretty bad. Is that hot garbage? I'll put in hot garbage. It's not unusable. It's just really hard to use. But Marshadow, 211. Shadow Claw does make it kind of solid, but I don't know. Probably put in fringe meta. The typing's nice, right? You're better into other fighters for sure. But you're much better Master League Pokemon for sure. Distracting Moltres like that. Hey, I'll give Moltres plenty of respect when the Galarian is coming up on that tier list. Zapdos, the flyer of choice. What did this even get? Did this get oh yeah, Heat Wave. Right. Yeah, I mean Heat Wave's not quite helping that much, honestly. Zapdos has always been like slightly okay in Ultra League, but it's just, I don't know. I don't love the typing of Zapdos. Taking neutral from opposing electric and like pretty much not having a lot of resistances is not ideal. Electric typing itself is always kind of sus, so if you have a secondary, it's nice. The secondary flying is not bad. It's just not good. Excuse me. Scolipede is definitely not it too. This thing is pretty bad. We'll put it here. There's maybe some utility if you lock into a fairy. Maybe in some limited metas in Ultra League, but they haven't done a lot of those. It's possible to remove the chat so that the tier list is bigger. I can't. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat though if I remove that. Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe you can zoom in on the screen. I don't know what platform you're watching it on. If you're watching on iPhone, you might be able to. Yeah, but sorry about that. Sorry, the tier's a little bit smaller, but it's kind of unfortunate the format I have it at. All right, Heracross. Got a couple different things. With the Fear Cutter in particular. Rock Tomb did get nerfed though, so it doesn't help it too much. And it got... Did it get upper hand this time around? I think it did. Anyway, again, not the best fighter. There's just better fighters in my mind. And being double weak to flying makes it kind of rough. Ultra League fighters are typically strong enough to tank a few flying moves here or there, but definitely not Heracross. I'd probably put this in the probably bad category as well. It's hard to use, especially with Jelson running around everywhere. You'd have zoom in on iPhone. Yeah. If you're watching on phone, but I don't know. There's a possibility that they're watching on like a computer or something, right? But hopefully the screen's big enough on that. Okay, Volcanion. So Volcanion, Incinerate, Scald, Overheat. It's not good. This is definitely in the bad category for sure. Is it hot garbage? I don't know. Fire, water is like interesting combination. I probably wouldn't put it in hot garbage category, but it's not great. And then Pidgeot. This actually used to be really solid in Ultra League. I actually don't know what happened to it, but this actually used to be really, really good. I'm trying to think what was it that made this less relevant. But I remember running a lot of Pidgeot in Ultra League, Open Ultra League, and it was actually quite good. But yeah, the Heat Wave's not going to help it too much. I'll put this in the probably bad category. I think in the right situation, you can make this work. It's just too hard to work, I think, right now. But yeah. Maybe it was... No, but we have old Wing Attack now, too. Maybe it's because they nerfed Feather Dance? I don't even know. But, yeah, it used to be a lot better. Alright. Camerupt. Camerupt is... not great. Not great for sure. I don't even remember what move it got. But nothing of relevance, I think. Was it Rock Tomb? I don't remember. I think it was Rock Tomb that it got. I don't know. Either way, there's other better fire users. We'll put this in the probably bad category. Like there's some utility here, right? I actually faced a decent amount of camera up in the Open Great League. I've definitely lost to some, but yeah. Okay. Let's hear everything else. The rest of this, obviously something that might have been impacted by buffs and changes, right? Like something that already had Sand 2 might have be on lists like Fortress, right? Even though it's not directly mentioned in the blog post. But let's go through this. This is all the top 100 Pokemon, plus a few extra stuff. Like, I think a few things like Charizard, for example, like old Wing Attacks back here, like, is Charizard good? Some other things might be on here from past times that might not be in the top 100. But I just threw it in there just to answer people's question. Yeah. I'm 12 hours early. Hey, what's up, MEJ? Yeah, slightly early. Okay, Galarian Moltres, number 1 overall. Sucker Punch, Fly, Brave Bird, still very, very strong. In a Jelson meta, it's pretty nasty and has a lot of play into a lot of his counters. Definitely an S-tier Pokemon. Definitely wish I had one for Ultra League. Unfortunately, I only have one. Volcanion has very interesting move pool. Yeah, definitely. It's just the bulk of it's not really ideal for Ultra League. Yeah. Corviknight, number 2 overall. This does feel pretty good. It's hard to use, I feel like. It doesn't like hard win a lot, but it is pretty good. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. It doesn't like its hard wins are not that hard of wins, right? Like there's a lot of things that kind of hit back at it. But at the same time, it's very, very safe. It's just kind of hard to play, but it's very safe. Even though it's number 2 ranked overall, a lot of PvPokesims also base a little bit on the bait situation. And if you bait with an air cutter, then it's quite good, right? So there's that. All right, Lapras is number 3 overall. And Lapras is definitely one of those Pokemon that is pretty nasty. I'm actually going to put it in the A tier for now, though. I think it's solid, but again, there's plenty of things that like don't really mind facing off against it. Like Malamar's fine, right? Empoleon's fine, even though it's not the cleanest matchup for Empoleon. Even if you have a dragon to it, like if you shield the ice beam, it's really not that bad, right? It's just a very bulk machine. But you know, Jellicent completely walls it off outside the side wave damage. So Jellicent definitely S tier pick for sure in this meta, just like last meta, I would say. Florges 5 overall. This one is a little bit more baity, I feel like. You could run this Disarming Voice. I think it's good, but I'd probably give it similar credence to the A meta. It's like very safe to use, but it doesn't have like hard dominating wins. Empoleon, kind of similar story, right? There's a lot of things that kind of check Empoleon, especially in Ultra League. So for Alligator, super safe too. Honestly, these all are very solid A tier picks in my mind. Clefable also very strong. It has a lot of really strong positive matchups. I actually probably think it's slightly better than the for Alligator because its wins are really hard wins. It does have some pretty hard losses though, but you know, you can't like, just because it has hard losses doesn't mean it's like unplayable, right? Like for instance, I mean like there's not a lot, but if you face like a steel type with Moltres, you're probably in a really bad spot. That's a really hard loss, but you have so much play to everything else. Yo, what's up, Trotando? Why are there sub 2k Pokemon even on the list? Oh yeah, so I included all the Pokemon that were directly updated from the tier list. And so in case some people did not realize that some of these are sub 2k or like around the 2k mark, I just want to throw it on there. Yeah. But that's why I have a whole irrelevant category. So that's mainly why. I should have had one for Great League as well too, because I think I had like Marshadow on there. Marshadow doesn't even hit like Great League eligibility. So yeah. Let's say how strong, how Moltres is strong in the meta. Its moveset is not so great. Neither is its defense. Well, Galarian Moltres, its typing is really nice. The flying and dark typing is really solid. And then Sucker Punch is such a good move right now. Like, even though Wing Attack is, like, rebuffed, it's, like, a lot of times you probably are running Sucker Punch anyway. And the amount of things you can Sucker Punch out, like, even Steel types facing Sucker Punch is kind of rough. And then Fly and Brave Bird just give you so much coverage. And Brave Bird itself just allows you to hit back against a lot of the fairies pretty hard, right? Because a lot of the fairies do not resist flying damage. Honestly, is there a fairy that resists flying damage? Like Tinkaton, I guess, but that's not super common yet. But I heard there might be a community. Okay, let's get back into this. Regidrago. I don't know. Regidrago feels a little bit underwhelming for me. I think it's so solid, but it's like, I don't know. I've used it in Ultra League, and it's like okay, but there's like something about it. I think it's like the Dragon Energy nerf definitely like made it feel a little bit hard to use. But Vice Grip does give it a solid bait move. Malamar, Shadow, very solid. Malamar is actually pretty nasty, I think. This is one of those Pokemon that has some hard losses, but has some really strong hard wins. It is really annoying to deal with. I lost in Battle Frontier in Ultra League formats, Grassroots, with a Registeel into it. And I'm just like, dude, the pacing on this is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, what's up, Neon? Ultra League is weak to Electric again? Yeah, I mean, similar to Great League, right? But I think that's kind of how it goes. About to drive your truck? Nice. Okay. Dondozo. This is kind of a surprise factor. 14 overall with Waterfall, Surf, Outrage. Pure water type. I mean, it has some decent matchups against, like, I don't know, certain things like Corviknights, like Empoleon, I guess. You just outbulk a lot of things. I don't know if this is actually as good as it seems. Obviously, you beat the fires, right? Skeldurge and the grounds. But, like, Dondozo? Really? I don't know. You don't really even beat Giratina Altered in the ones. And you have a dragon move and they don't. But I mean, you throw resist a waterfall, right? I'm not really a big believer of this guy. But I'll put it in French meta for now. There might be some utility, right? The Sims do look good for it. But I think they're just better water types. You know? Like, it's also opportunity cost. Would you really run this over the Jellicent? Like, yeah, you have a little bit more play into the dark types with Dondozo. But you just lose every water matchup really hard, I feel like. I don't know. But Virizion, always a really solid Pokemon in Ultra League. I'll probably put it before the Alligator. Mainly because it's like the best grass Pokemon by far in Ultra League. I mean, you can maybe make the argument that Trailblaze Forge is pretty good too. But do you think Gliscor will be good? Didn't expect him to see him in a bad tier. Yeah, he's not that great. It's just the typing is like okay. You kind of give up your ground coverage too. So if you go Night Slash Acrobatics, you're worse into Steel types. If you go Ground Acrobatics, you're worse into the Ghost types, right? It's a water meta is the problem. It's a heavy water meta in both Great League and Ultra League right now, and it just doesn't do it any favors. Yeah. So, Gliscor honestly is pretty underwhelming across the board. Honestly, I think if they rebuff Gligar, it'd be a different story for Great League, but for Gliscor for Ultra League is kind of tough. Yeah, Acrobatics and Sand make it B tier. Maybe. You know what? Let me take a look at it real quick. So, I mean, obviously, Poke Sims are not everything, but let me just see real quick. So, non-shadow Sims a lot better, right? So we'll just run the non-shadow for now. 22 wins, 30 losses. So you lose more than you win with Night Slash. Now, Sand Tomb, Acrobatics, Wing Attack. 23 wins, 29 losses. You only really pick up one there. Yeah. I might make the argument that it could be bumped up over some of these other ones. Actually, yeah. I think I could probably switch these two. I'm not really a fan of Heracross. But it might be a high B tier or high C tier, low B tier. But Crocodile, unfortunately, is not even on the list. Yeah, it's way too far out. If you're curious, I'll let you know what it is. Crocodile is at 501 overall. That's really bad. That's really, really bad. Yeah, Crocodile's just not really great in any like open meta. Honestly, in limited metas it could be good, but yeah. Is that Moltres in S tier? That is Moltres. Yeah, Galarian Moltres. Regular Moltres is in the hot garbage tier. It's quite the duality right there. Okay. Licky, very strong still. It's an absolute bulk machine in Ultra League. I'd actually put it probably ahead of some of these other things. It's super safe, right? Like if you don't have a fighter into it, this is super safe into a lot of things. Even against fairies, you can hit back pretty decently well. And Togekiss at 17 overall. It's a decent Pokemon. I probably put it in the meta category. It's a little bit hard to use, I feel like, in Ultra League. It doesn't have, like, there's a lot more bulkier things, right? So it's like, and because, like, for instance, in Great League, Togekiss is not a great matchup into Jellicent. In Ultra League, Togekiss is a way worse matchup because you're likely running Psyshock or Sphere Peck, right? And so when you land a Psyshock into Jellicent, it does not look like it does any damage in Ultra League, right? So Pidgeot is a shame because despite its buff, it's had to compete with other flyers. Yeah, exactly. I really loved Pidgeot back in the day, but it just kind of got power crept out of the meta in many ways. Zygarde, dude, this thing is always a monster whenever you face it. It is so annoying. It is so annoying to deal with. I'd honestly put it around here. Yeah, it's a weak to ice, but like it just the neutral matchups are so disgustingly favorable for it. Ludicolo is kind of a bait machine, kind of like Great League. I actually don't think Ludicolo is that good. I'll probably put it around here, maybe. It's like, it's just hard to use. If you don't land that Leaf Storm, it's kind of problematic, right? Even into Jellicent. Astonish is okay, too, with it, but it's non-stab Astonish. And Weather Ball's solid, but again, you just don't really close out a lot of matchups with Weather Ball. So Salazzle is also really far down. Hey, look. I don't want to tell people not to use Spice, right? If you like Spice, it's fine. Salazzle's at 394. Yeah, not even close. Everything on my list here is either newly updated Pokemon that were directly mentioned in the blog post, or in the top 100, or a few things just outside top 100 that were meta relevant in the past. Yeah. But, okay. Oranguru is at 20 overall. Oranguru is kind of similar to Great League in the sense that it's kind of boosted a lot in its rankings because of the meta, right? It's a heavy water meta, so you have the Trailblaze for that. It's also a decently heavy ghost meta, and Jellicent's not going to appreciate this matchup either, right? It's mostly just Jellicent. Jellicent being high up is big. You know, resisting the Shadow Claw damage from Frogger is kind of nice too. I don't know if it's like that good in Open Great League, or Open Ultra League, I should say, but you could definitely get it into some really nice matchups. Annihilate with the low kick buff in this one. It's definitely still an A tier pick. I like Virizion a little bit more because that's more option to hit back here. The problem with Nihilip in Ultra League is that things are bulkier, right? So you could potentially even not shield the Jellicent twice, maybe? Let me see that matchup. So if you don't shield twice, let's see what happens. Let's see. I guess one Rage Fist does 75. Next one does no shielded. It's kind of hard to let me figure this out real quick. So if I don't sim this, 75, 95. You could technically no shield 2 Rage Fist and survive on Jellicent. But the low kick damage will add up, so it'll be pretty close. But, like, that's just the thing, right? Oh, that's not from the Shadow, too. From the non-Shadow, oh, definitely, yeah. If from the non-Shadow, this is definitely not going to do enough. Yeah, if you do the non-Shadow, this is definitely not going to take out the Jellicent. Yeah, Jellicent still survives pretty handily, actually. Yeah, 79 and 63 damage to 196 health on Jellicent. That's the thing with Annihilate, right? It's a little bit weirder to play into bulkier picks. You don't really have any fast tech pressure, right? Obviously, locate doesn't help it against Jellicent for whatever, for what it's worth. Also, even into Virizion, like, unless you land the close combat, you can't really low kick down. I don't know. This Annihilate is... I'll put it right here. I think it's still pretty good, but I think Virizion's a little bit safer in a Jellicent meta. Annihilate definitely still wins that head-to-head, right? So, hey, what's up, Jason? Hope you're doing well. Duraludon good? No, not so much. Hey, what's up, Roxy? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, Duraludon is all the way at 495. If you use Salazzle, Crocodile, and Duraludon, and you win a whole 5, go 5-0 with it at a respectable rank, send me the footage. I will happily feature you on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the heart me and hand hearts, Roxy. Okay. So, yeah, Annihilate. I actually think Annihilate is better in Great League in comparison to Ultra League. But that's just my thoughts on it. You have to go close combat into Moltres too, which is super awkward. You don't even one-shot from that range, right? So, but they're only doing neutral Sucker Punch, so maybe not too bad. Drapion did definitely get slightly more into relevance because of the lack of Mudslappers. It's honestly not bad in a Jellicent meta. It doesn't hit nearly as hard, though. I'll put it here, I think. It's still really safe. Drapion's really one of those Pokemon that if you had a third move, it really unleashes power, but no Sludge Bomb makes it a little bit harder into some of these matchups with non-stab Aqua Tail, like Moltres, for example. Alolan Ninetales, Chilling Water is the recommended moveset. I think this is actually pretty good. I'll put it here. You can maybe put it in Fringe meta, but I think it's actually pretty solid. Kingdra is definitely one of those bait machines. I don't know. I put it here, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Actually, I think here's a little bit better. Dusknoir, super safe. Is it super meta relevance? It's okay. I don't really love some of its matchups as much, but it's not bad. I'm gonna put that in the meta category. Like, you could definitely use Dusknoir pretty successfully. I just struggle using it, but it's definitely solid. Shadow Malmar's Fringe S tier, only held back by its lack of usage from no one having it. That is actually a fair point. And I may adjust some of this stuff too, right? Shadow Malmar is an absolute menace in the right situations. So, but, you know, obviously you're not going to do great into fairies. You just hard lose like every fairy, right? Which is a little bit unfortunate, but yeah. Okay, but yeah, I will adjust some of these towards the end too, depending on how it looks. Galarian Weezing, Swiss Army Knife, still really solid, especially in Ultra League. It has a lot of play and it's a lot bulkier. I actually do like it a lot, especially the Shadow. Just kind of like you have to question shielding it, especially in like GBL, right? There's just so many things that it could be throwing at you. Tornado has definitely not lived up to its potential in my mind. A Fringe pick at best. Yeah, there's just two in a water meta too. Like a dragon that takes neutral from water is not ideal. Walrein, also one of those where like you thought it was gonna be really good, but like it didn't end up really living up to its potential. Powder Snow buff is nice, but it just, I don't know. The nerfed Earthquake from years ago, just like you can still feel it. Belly Bolt has gotten a decent amount of nerfs like 2 seasons ago, but it's still solid in the right situation. I think it's still really solid. I'd probably put it here actually. I think you could definitely make it work. But yeah. Okay, Blastoise. Blastoise in a Jellicent meta is hard to use. It's an opportunity cost thing. Again, you just like, why would you run this when you can run Jellicent, right? Obviously, you have some slightly better matchups in Dark types, but it's just you just get hard walled. Shadow Dusknoir over regular Dusknoir? Yeah, I think so. Regular Dusknoir could definitely put a pack a punch too, though. But Drapion, typically you want to run the Shadow. But the non-Shadow actually sims better. It's just that the Shadow is maybe not going to sim as good, but like if you spend shields on it, it's actually really nice. I personally like the Shadow a little bit more, but the non-Shadow is simmed a little bit higher, I believe. Wait, let me just double check that to make sure I'm not telling a lie here. Yeah, 22 to 65, but I do like the Shadow a little bit more. Shadow in Great League 100% better. Ultra League, you definitely make the argument that the non-Shadow could have a little bit more play. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Mage? Hope you're doing well. If you run Blasters, you run a triple turtle team. Turtonator, Blastoise. Wait, what's the third turtle? I'm sure there's some turtle. I'm not. There's no turtles here right now, right? I don't know anything out of War Turtle. That'd be crazy. Swampert, Moltres is a good core. Definitely. I mean, Swampert. And yeah, I mean that's like they just have perfect coverage for each other, right? Swampert Flyer in general was a really strong core, right, back in the day. Mate, thank you for the heart meme. What do you call it? Like that's why Swampert, Sableye, Skarmory was a really strong team. It was mostly just Swampert, Skarmory was what made it good, and then Sableye just being super safe was nice. But yeah, I mean you could easily run Swampert and Moltres. I actually think Swampert will be a lot better in Ultra League than it is in Great League. But okay, Cresselia all the way at 39. It's kind of hard to use still, but I think it's still solid. I'll put it here. Yeah, I think it's still solid, but Cresselia's just been like power crept a bit. It never really got any nerfs in recent years, but it's just hard to play in this particular meta. Fortress with Rock Tomb and Sand Tomb. This is kind of neat. Ultra League Fortress is disgusting in a lot of situations. I don't know about in open Ultra League, but in Show 6 Ultra League, it is kind of nasty. It is kind of nasty. I'll probably put it here. It's a water meta, though, so it's not really amazing. And Voltron just does not do enough in Ultra League. I think Voltron obviously is better into the waters, but it's very underwhelming coming from Fortress. Non-stab on top of that. Mandibuzz, it's just outclassed by Moltres. It's okay, I guess. But I'd probably put it like here, maybe. Yeah. It's still a bulk machine, but also nerfing Aerialize did not help it at all. Ticketon. Ticketon actually is pretty solid, I feel like. It has a lot of play. It's just an accessibility thing at the moment, but I think it'll be a little bit more accessible down the road. I'll probably put it maybe here. Maybe here even. It's got really good positive matchups. I will give it that. I'll put it here. I think Blastoise is still, like, Ticketon's typing is super unique, right? Whereas Blastoise is a little bit less. Actually, honestly, I'll probably put it here, even. Yeah. I think we could bump it up quite a bit. Will we have Jellicent and Gourgeist? In Great League, I think it's okay. I would drop the Gourgeist or something else, though. But, yeah. Fortress S tier beats, like, top 20 Ultra League ones. No, I played a lot of Fortress. It's just a little hard to use. You know what? I'll give you this. I think we can move it into A tier. I don't know about S tier though. I think you can make the argument it's A tier because it has a lot of coverage too, right? I don't know if I put in S tier though. I don't think so. I mean, I have it myself a lot, but hit legend with it, K-Mama, and then I'll update the tier list. Yeah, yeah, I think it. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could definitely make the argument. I mean, obviously, there's going to be more in S tier than just these two, so I will make the adjustment as time goes on. Steelix, absolutely monster in terms of bulk. It's okay. It's honestly still pretty solid, actually. You do get kind of outpaced by the Empoleon, but I do think it's still pretty good. I'm going to put it there. I used to be a big Steelix fan. I love Steelix on the old Breaking Swipe, but obviously they had to nerf that. Toucannon, Shadow Toucannon in particular. At 44 overall. Toucannon is actually a really fun Pokemon. It's hard to use, but it could really like steamroll your team if it's in the right position. I actually kind of like it quite a bit. Is it like really meta relevant? It's a different story. I actually think it's more meta relevant than Cresselia though. But it is a glass cannon though that you have to double shield in a lot of situations. Mono coverage is also something else. But okay, Swampert all the way at 40. Or no, sorry, that's not even Swampert. That's Samurott at 46. Yeah, Samurai at 46. I don't know. Samurai always sims pretty well, but it's pure water typing and coverage is like a little bit not so great. It's like a worse Blastoise in my mind. I don't know. I still like it more than Turtonator, but maybe that's just me. Giratina, Altered, always really solid in Ultra League. I don't know. This like Pokemon is just always good still, you know? Like it's not like it always has relevance, I feel like. It's a little bit hard to use in a like high like Jellicent Moltres meta with a bunch of fairies. But it'd be crazy in my mind to still consider this as a fringe pick when it has so many great positive matchups and the typing is just so good. Warwick is a sim hero for sure. It's still good, but it's like a sim hero, absolutely. Put it like here. You prefer Shadow or regular Steelix in Ultra League? That's a great question. There's a lot of merit to both because the Ultra League Steelix is super bulky, right? And sometimes you just like out bulk them in a lot of matchups rather than need to do more damage. They're both really good. I personally have never tried playing Ultra League Steelix because I just don't have one worth making. But I think they both have a lot of merit. I guess it depends a little bit on the rest of your composition, right? Let's say you're running 2 cannon Steelix, right? I'd probably go the non-Shadow Steelix there because you're going to need a little bit more of your shields and a little bit more bulk, right, when you have something so glassy. But let's say you're running Steelix, Jellicent, Moltres. You can run that Shadow, right? All those are pretty bulky for what it's worth. Gorgas for what? I would probably run... So, Wiggly, Jellicent. You probably run... Maybe we're throwing out another water there. Could be good. Swampert might be good. Azumarill could be... Azumarill's actually too weak because you're too weak to poison, yeah. Frowgator could be good there, right? Those are great options. You could run Annihilate as well. You could run Wiggly Double Ghost. That's actually very solid too. Is this Spring Cup suggestions? No, it's an Ultra League. Yeah, Ultra League. Hey, what's up, Alex Brownie? I hope you had a good stream last night. I lurked for a bit. And Lexi told me that she did indeed win at some point, so that was cool to see. Okay. Cobalion, yeah, Cobalion's coming up on the list for sure. I'm just going in order from top down. Armor Mewtwo's at 50 overall. Armor Mewtwo's a really fun Pokemon, really solid, very inaccessible right now. So if you don't have one, it's gonna be hard to find someone to trade it. It's just really safe in a lot of situations. I don't know. I kind of like it, but it might be hard to use. I'm gonna put it. I don't know. I'm gonna put it here. I think it's really strong in a lot of situations. Neutrally, it's kind of a monster. I might put it in here. Yeah, I might put it there. I don't know. You can actually make the argument that this is like an A tier. No, I'm going to put it in A tier. You have so much play, right? Obviously, you lose to like ghost types and dark types, and that's why it's pushing it down. But like neutrally, you're good here. You're great here. You're good here. You're fine here. Well, that's not a neutral matchup. You're decent here. Obviously, Shadow Ball kind of sucks, but you have Dynamic Punch, right? You win this, like, it's a really strong neutral Pokemon. The bulk on it is nasty. It's just that super inaccessible. Yeah, 4 feels like to me S tier plus, highly annoying all season. Some people, K-Mama is also in agreement with you on that one. Not many will make S tier. Well, I'll adjust some things. Yeah, I'll definitely adjust some things. Obviously, everything comes after these will probably not make it an S tier, but some of these A tiers I'll adjust for it. Tactical Payback, dude, this thing is actually kind of nasty. I faced one with a Jellicent, and I was shielding the Payback, and the Shadow Ball just was not doing enough. That being said, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's still really strong. I actually like Tentacle a lot, especially with Belly Bolt being nerfed. There's less electrics around. Gastron being nerfed, less Mud Slappers around, right? Like, I actually think it's solid. The ranking is at 51 overall, but still, I think it's still pretty solid. Call for Gregas is in the high 50s. It's okay Pokemon. I actually think it's still pretty solid. I don't know. I kind of like it more than some of these other matchups, so I'll put it there. Shadow Ball buff did help it a lot last season too. All right, the Rock Gym nerf on Credillo definitely hurt it a lot. Not really a lot of relevant grass types. Credillo was already a little bit hard to use to open Ultra League, but there was some niche play for sure. I like it more than Ludicolo still, so I'll put it there. But you can make the argument that's worse. Maybe make the argument that's better. Guzzlord. It's definitely solid. It's got some great matchups. Do I not have a Guzzlord on this tier list? Oh no, here it is. Probably put it there. Yeah. It's very weak to fairies, obviously, but okay. Runerigus. Runerigus has some solid typing for sure. Wait, this thing has Sand Tomb too, I think, right? You could actually run it with Sand Tomb. Although the Rock Tube is nice. I don't know. You can make the argument that Sand Tomb might be not bad for it. I like it more than some of these things. We'll put it here. I like it more than the Coffee Gregas for sure. I don't know why Crustal's always so high up on the tier list. This is just not that good. Like, there's a lot of psychics and stuff, I guess, and like, you know, taking a neutral from fire but being able to hit back with super effective is nice. But this thing is just like, I'm not a fan at all. Maybe here, I guess. No, I'm gonna put it probably bad. I don't like the typing at all. Like, it seems okay, but I don't actually like it. Jirachi is also like really hard to use in my mind. There's just way too many things that target it. You're weak to ground, fire, ghost, dark. Like, that's a lot of typings that are super common, right? Maybe not so much fire, but like ghost, dark. I forgot what was the other thing I said, but yeah, it's not great for it. All right, Trevenant's also super underwhelming. Unfortunately, it just did not really live up to its potential, but that's okay. The Shadow Trevenant on top of that, it's just kind of hard to use, I think, in this current meta. And just got power crept out of control, I feel like. Ninetales, cancel Ninetales is okay. I actually don't think it's too bad. I think in the right situation, you can kind of make it work. But, yeah, it's fairly bulky, too, in Ultra League, for what it's worth. Ampharos, Swiss Army Knife, it's alright. But I don't think it's that good. And then Shao Drapion all the way at 65 overall. Cobalion is at 66, which is kind of crazy. All right, let's think on this. Why is Cobalion so low? Right? Really bad matchup there. Bad matchup here. Not terrible with the fairies, but you lose to the other fighters. I think it's niche. I don't think it's meta. I think it's super niche. Maybe put it here. Yeah, I actually think Cobalion's a little bit harder to use. You could definitely win games with it, but my Ultra team looking like Fort don't exist. Hey, what's up, Mozart? Hope you're doing well. Where's Typhlosion? Typhlosion's not good? Yeah, Typhlosion is not good. If you're curious, Typhlosion's all the way at 173. So, not great. Talonflame's at 111, but I do have my tier list because it's obviously been relevant over the years, so I'm going to have to mention that one. But Typhlosion's been kind of like pushed out in the meta in many ways. Its typing is also not as great as Talonflame's, I would say. And Skeldurge for what it's worth. Speaking of Skeldurge, we do have Skeldurge to place. 73 overall. It's all right. It's got some decent matchups here or there, but it's just weak to Ghost, Dark, Water. There's a lot of those, unfortunately. And you're doing fire damage, right? So it's just like a little bit slow. Maybe in limited metas could be good, though. Grimmsnarl is kind of a weird one. I don't really like Grimmsnarl. So, dude, Grimmsnarl is so bad that with shields up, Pangoro beats it consistently. Whether you're running close combat or rock side, it beats it consistently. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Grimmsnarl. It's hard to use. It's very hard to use. It obviously has some great matchups here or there, but it's pretty frail on top of it. Yeah, it's not great. Kyurem is also, it's okay, actually. Kyurem I don't hate. It's hard to use in this particular meta. Put it in fringe meta, I guess, but you can make the argument that's even lower than that if you really want to. It's pretty safe, though. Speaking of safe, Seeking's on here for some reason. I do not know why. I built a Seeking for Ultra League before, and I've used it, and I do not love it. I do not love it. Como-O is kind of hard to use in this meta. I think it's better than some of these things, so put it here, I guess. I wouldn't recommend Como-O, though. Dragalge, similar thing. It's great in like limited metas, but I don't think it's particularly good in open metas. Melodic, similar story. Honestly, Melodic, you can make the arguments worse than a Seeking. Gudra, super safe. Also just doesn't hit very hard, and everything's a lot bulkier. I think it's better than some of these other things, so. Better than Grimmsnarl? Maybe not. But Grimmsnarl is kind of a weird one. Yo, Pokegangs, thank you for the raid. Appreciate it. Hope you had a great stream. My guess is you ended it right before the rotation started, right? Let me give you a quick shout out. Oh, yeah, right. I do not have a chat window open. That's why I can't give a shout out. All right. Pokegames. There's always like extra letters, so I want to make sure I get the right amounts. Oh, shoot. I did not mean to do that. Hold on. I didn't want to raid you back. that would go nowhere. All right, there we go. Yeah, I actually accidentally did that the other day too, and someone had to stop me. They're like, I don't know if you really want to raid this right now, and they just raided you. What is fringe meta supposed to mean? So it's like things that you could use and probably win games with. It's hard to use, but it's still viable, right? Like Toucan is not easy to use, but it could definitely sweep some teams in the right situation, right? Like Bellable got nerfed, but it could definitely still wreck some teams, right? You run into like a Moltres, Jelson, ABA line, like you're cooking, right? Especially with Thundershock. So these are all very, very strong. These are like probably like these are all like very viable depending on how you construct your team. C and below is like you're playing extremely hard mode or you're playing for content, you know. But yeah. But what about Shadow Ball Nightleap? If you run Shadow Ball Nightleap, you just lose to. Oh, okay. If you run Shadow Ball Nightleap in close combat, it's fine. You can't give up Rage Fit. You can't give up close combat because then you'll just lose to Licky Licky. You know, you're throwing what, Shadow Ball or Rage Fist at it. You can't low kick it down, especially in Ultra League. Yeah. So if you decide to offer Shadow Ball, which I think is like decent, you need to give up Rage Fist. So yeah. Shadow Hypno is terrible to use occasionally for a buff one day. Shadow Hypno in Ultra League is kind of wild, but yeah, that is the thing. Oh, Greedent, one of my old favorite Pokemon. Okay, so the Mudshot rebuff helps it. Licky Licky's just still better, right? But it's not bad. You could use it. You could use it. I don't know if it's gonna be good though. Alolan Sandslash. I'll probably put it in probably bad. There's too many water types. It also gets outbulked by a lot. Shadow Gyarados. Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one's kind of hard to use, I feel like. This one's super hard to use. Probably worse than a Grimmstone. I like it better than Goodra because it actually has like strong winning matchups, whereas Goodra's kind of like a neutral machine. Miltank, I don't know what this thing's even doing here, but it's okay, I guess. I don't know. You could probably make the argument to swap that around. Scizor's really got nerfed out of Oblivion. Definitely on the bad side. It's just like the Bullet Punch nerf really hurt it. If you just nerfed the Night Slash, it's a different story. But if you nerfed the Bullet Punch, is what really murdered it. Spiritomb is a really wild one. It's honestly like I played against it in Show 6. It's not terrible. I don't know. It's like so unique too in what it does. I'll put it here, I guess. A lot of people just don't have one to even try. Bronzong also, I mean, it just has a Weather Ball baits, but this thing's just pretty bad in my mind. Maybe here. Driplim, super safe, just not super relevant these days. It is still super safe though. Maybe put it here. I mean, you could definitely win with it. Bombirdier is just like a worse Moltres. Actually, but it could win some matchups because it has Sucker Punch in itself. Gourgeist is on here somehow. Gourgeist should not be this high up, but it's okay. In Ultra League, I can see some relevance to it. I don't know. I think Seeking's actually even better. Swamper's all the way at 97, which is kind of crazy. But again, it's a power creep symptom, right? It's not really anything else other than that. It is the old Swampert. I don't know. Is this meta relevant? I don't think so. I'll put it in Fringe. It's not that bad. It's just not that good. It's just not that good. But like, you know, I think it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's that good, but it's not that bad. Raikou all the way at 99. Raikou actually in Ultra League can be kind of annoying. And it is kind of electric water meta. So funny enough, I actually think Raikou, like in all seriousness, can be solid. And the Unova Stunfisk, I actually like the typing on it a lot more. So I'll put it here. But that one could be okay. Abomasnow just outside of the rankings, 101. I don't know. I don't really like it that much. It's got some weird matchups. And against water types, when you're throwing Powder Snow and you don't land the Energy Ball, it feels bad. Feels real bad. Okay, let's hear some of these things that have been in the meta for a while that I haven't really addressed. Actually, Giratina Origin is actually on here. I just missed it. Oh, this one's pretty hard to run, honestly. This one's actually really hard to run. It's so mono coverage too. I don't know. This thing's just very hard to run, I feel like. But that's just kind of how it goes. Hydreigon, I think I missed that as well. Hydreigon's 68 overall. Dude, this thing just did not live up to its name. It's definitely a bait machine, but I'd probably put it in the probably bad category as well. Yeah, I'd probably put it right there. I don't know. It's not great. Now you want dumplings? Any tips? I've actually never made dumplings myself. My mom has, my family has, but I've actually never made dumplings. I've never helped them make dumplings for whatever reason, but they're good though. Cat Trader shows has backup if in case the homemade ones don't turn out. Yeah. Hey, take some photos too. I'm curious to see how they go. Yeah, I'm sure they're good though. Everyone nerfs right now when I'm getting decent mons. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, if as long as it's decent, like just save it, right? Because things might come back into relevance. If Magnus on the list, no, Magnus is not. It's all the way at 156 overall. It's not great. There's just better electrics for it. It used to be okay in Ultra League, but there are a lot of things that used to be okay. Speaking of which, Registeel used to be okay. Now it's all the way at 114. Honestly, this is crazy, but Registeel is probably in the bad category. It is so hard to use because it gets outpaced by so many things. Maybe that's doing a little too injustice. I'll put it here, but it's so hard to use. I've tried using it so much in recent months, and it is just not easy to use. Every time I use it, I'm like, they didn't even nerf this thing, but I get why it feels bad. Gastrodon got nerfed all the way to oblivion with the Mudslap nerf. It's just not good. I'll put it here, I guess. I'm gonna have to readjust some of this tier list for sure. Golisopod, I think, Golisopod I just missed. It's 56 overall. It's actually not bad. In a Moltres and Jellicent meta, it's a little bit hard to use, but it's actually not that bad. I think it's probably, I'd probably put it here, I guess. Yeah. It's got really great dominant matchups and stuff like Swampert. Lapras is pretty solid too, but it doesn't have as much bulk. Pangoro is a super unique Pokemon in its typing and its coverage. It's still not great, but it could be okay in some weird situations, right? Like in a Jellicent and Moltres meta, it's actually really not that bad. It's really not that bad. Its rank doesn't show it, but it's actually, in my mind, actually a really solid Pokemon still. I'd actually probably bump it up to around like... See, the thing with Cobalion is it's just like, I don't know. It doesn't have a lot of hard winning matchups, whereas Pangoro just like has some really solid matchups still. I'll probably put it right here. Yeah, Pangoro is like one of those where like the Sims are not like representative of how strong it could be in certain situations. I think it also learns low kick, but Cryochops is better. All right, Talonflame's all the way at 111. It's okay. It's better than a Turtonator in my mind, so I'll put it there. But it's just hard to run it in this meta, but it's honestly... Oh, it's better than these, for sure. Maybe even this. It's like too unique in its role to be overlooked. Speaking of its role, there's another flying fire, and it's Charizard, and this one is not as good. For sure not as good. I'll probably put it here. You can use it, but it's not easy to use. And then Dragonite, Shadow Dragonite, unfortunately. I'll probably take this off my next tier list unless it gets a significant buff. 197 overall is just not good. I don't know. It's also not super bulky. It's got decent typing, I guess, but I'm not a huge fan. And then Primarina is actually on here on the top 100. I just missed it earlier. 70 overall. It's got interesting typing for sure. It's a Azumarill typing, but I don't know if it has a lot of targets is the problem. I don't know if it has a lot of targets, and you're doing waterfall damage. So like, this doesn't even really beat a Virizion. So what are you really beating here? Like, you're taking neutral from the Moltres. You're not doing super effective back. I don't know. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. This also, I'm not convinced by. I could probably move this further down. I do not like Tornado. Nah, I would put Tornado there. It's like there's no world I ever use Tornado in Open Ultra League. I don't like it at all. All right, and then Umbreon, the last one, just outside the top 100, but I left down here because it's had some relevance in the past. 112 overall. It's really bad into Moltres, but it's got great play into Jellicent, I guess. It's hard to run, though. There's just better dark types in my mind. I'll put it there. All right, time to adjust some things now. Chris out 1 damage just to... Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like overall, right? There just ends up being better ones. Dusclops is better in Great League? Yeah, 100%. Would you run Licky Moltres core? 100%. That's a really good core. Yeah, I think it's a really solid core. Pangoro, though, is a core breaker for that. So, that's why I think Pangoro is actually quite nice. Okay, time to adjust some things. Is Malamar S tier? Shadow Malamar is pretty nuts. I think Corviknight's better. I think at Malmar you can make it into high A tier. But that's my assessment on it. Licky Licky is super safe. But there's Virizion, right? I'm gonna bump Licky Licky higher up. I think we'll do this. And Empoleon is also just has great typing. I actually, even though Lapras sims better, I like Empoleon a little bit more for the Moltres matchup. You're bad into Jellicent, but Lapras is not any better into Jellicent, right? I like Clefable actually a lot because it beats the other fairies and it has hard wins. It has some hard losses though, but it has hard wins. Virizion I actually like a lot. It's probably one of your best fighters of choice, but it's so risky. It's so risky to run. Actually, it's very unsafe. Everything else I think looks good for the most part. I know some people want Fortress up there, but I don't know about Fortress. Okay, you know what? I'll bump it up to like this maybe. Maybe something like this. Zygarde is kind of a beast though. I will do this. Yeah, I think that's about it. This looks pretty good for me. Let me know what your thoughts are though. What's up, Pogo Ash? Can we make the stream more goon friendly? What? Oh, like Obstagoon friendly? Sorry, I'm thinking about the wrong thing. Obstagoon unfortunately has died out a while ago. Really, the counter nerf is what really killed it. It's at 425 overall. Tell us some teams using only one S-tier, S-top Pokemon. Okay, yeah. I'll give you all a team that you could potentially run. I don't have Moltres myself, so I can't really put this to the test. Moltres. And you need some anti-electric, so you need probably some type of ground. Zygarde's super risky to run because, of course, if you run into Fairy Lead, you just kind of lose, right? You can run the Moltres, and then you can run... I mean, you could run Swampert, honestly. I think the Swampert-Moltres pairing is quite solid, despite the fact that it's, you know, ranked a little bit lower. Actually, I'll give Swampert a little bit more of a bump up. Actually, I kind of like it still. It's unique in its coverage, right? Yeah, I think Swampert's actually a little bit too low. You can run Moltres, Swampert, and then maybe something like Cobalion. Could be good. Cobalion draws out the Virizion. You can finish it off with Moltres. You sweep the Swampert. Yeah, but that could be something. Don't fall for it, Caleb. Hold the line. I don't know if I'll run Fortress myself. Hey, what's up, Kevs? Is it worth it to raid Zacian base form, even if no crown form? Yeah, I think if you need XL candies, yeah. Because it's the same XL candy, so I think it's good, right? Also, without the crown form, too, you can still crown form the one that is the base form, right? The crown form just gives you the crown form energy. Or whatever the particle is, whatever it's called. But if you need a good one, it's fine. What about Lucario? Nah, Lucario's the worst Cobalion. You have any teams using only the worst Pokemon? Triple Wormadale. That'll be an absolute. If you can win even a single game with triple Wormadam in Ultra League, I will be impressed. Send me that footage, please. I would be shocked. That is such a resource commitment to max out 3 Wormadam that honestly, I salute you for that one if you ever do that. But yeah, that's going to be it for my tier list. Let me know your thoughts down below if you're watching on YouTube, or just, you know, you could tag me later on Twitter. But I will post this on Twitter as well. Oh, Homesize Henry is actively streaming right now. I don't really get a chance to raid him often. So we'll raid Homesize Henry on Twitch. Everywhere else, I will end the stream. But thanks all for tuning in. Best of luck in your Ultra League journey, and hopefully it goes well. And if Fortress is indeed an S-tier pick, well, prove me wrong, because I don't think so, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this is Ultra League's epic. Yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll go live sometime tomorrow. Maybe at an earlier time again. Who knows? Henry's building fort. Nice. I mean, I have one build, so we'll see. All right, I'll catch you all later. Peace.